And then finally, step 8, which is witnessing the whole stream. And I can tell you when I finally came to understand this, or maybe that's giving myself a little too much credit. I can tell you the thing that finally put me on the right direction of understanding what this is. It was again with one of those walks with Swami Rama. And it was again one of those times that he dumped a couple words at my feet. No conversation, we're just walking along quietly. These 2 words came out of his mouth and went boom right in front of me. They were, witness everything. And you know what I said to him? And once again he repeated it. Just the 2 words. He didn't say, well, what I meant to say was. That wasn't what I was asking. I just meant, And he said, witness everything. To which I said, And we walked. And I said, Baba, I don't think I know how to do that. Because mine went back scanning the hard drive of the Chitta, looking for a matchup of how to do that. You know, if he had said, pass the biscuits, I know what that means. Give me a cup of chai, I would know what that meant. Might not have been the best cup of chai, but I know what it means. He said, witness everything. And I didn't have anything back there that matched up with that. So we're walking. I said, Baba, I don't think I know how to do that. And then he said, and it took a long time for this to sink in why he said this, he just smiled and said, softly, lovingly, he said, it will come. And I figured out later, why did he say it will come? And why did he tell me that? And I think that what it was, this is my best guess, I think that he saw that I attempted to figure out what he meant. Because it's just a 2-word sentence. It would have been so easy. Oh, yes, yes, Baba. And by the way, when are you going to really tell me what the practices are? When are you going to give me the secret handshake? You know, or the key to the executive toilet or some such thing from past life. But somehow it struck me and it went inside in such a way that there was an intelligence there that ego was willing to at least get out of the way enough to allow that intelligence to be there and to say out loud to him, I don't think I know how to do that. And I think that alone is the reason that he said it will come. Because he knew I'd chew on it. And after that walk, I dashed back to my room and I wrote it down in my little notebook, witness everything. I didn't know what it meant. I honestly, I did not know what it meant. I sensed something that it wasn't just a silly little comment that we will then walk around and say, oh yeah, witness everything. And that's what I'm doing now. I knew there was more to it. And gradually over time I figured out what he was saying. And it has to do with these 3 things here. If you've done the preparation work, these 3 things at the end of this 8 things, this is meditation. This is the meditation that he's been trying to teach us to do. As he said in the video lecture, not mere japa. Japa is a beautiful practice. Sitting there holding a mala bead in front of your heart, repeating, mantra is a very useful practice. Very good thing to do, but it's not called meditation. It's called japa. This is not anti-japa. It's not anti-mantra. Mantra ought to come out of that silence, take over and lead us to where it came from. But this shows us how to do that. Otherwise, we're just using mantra to bash away what we ought to be doing. And then the principle is, and the way, if you look at this, the way he describes it in here, if you've learned the letting go, you've learned the skill and you're practicing how let it come so I can let it go. Let it come. Come, more thoughts, please come. More you people come. Come. So I can practice the skill of doing nothing. I'm learning what it means to actually let go. that the thoughts are born and die. It's their habit. Try to hold any one thought in your mind. I'm not talking about meditation. Just try to hold any one thought in your mind. It's very difficult, isn't it? Before you know it, you're daydreaming. You're off thinking about something else. This ought to be telling us this is the normal operation of the mind. This is the normal operation of the mind. That thoughts arise and they fall away. This is simply how the mind works. So we need to gain some mastery over allowing that to happen intentionally. Let it come so I can do, number 6, let it go. And if I can do that, resting on the foundation of the preparation, then I can introspect. I can inspect my thoughts. I can push the pause button, my way of saying, I can push the pause button on the DVD and see reality. Here it is as it is right now. Elsewhere, Swamiji has said that you should inspect all of your fears. We're shot full of fears. If you look at the book, Living with the Himalayan Masters, Swamiji tells a story where he's talking with his master, and his boss tells him, go to the West and teach these fools. Something like that. He used nicer words than I do. And Swamiji says that Swamiji said to him something, well, what do you want me to do? Teach them our religions? And he said, no, you foolish boy. Call him foolish boy. Do you know what he told him first? He said, first, teach them about fear. Second, teach them about self-realization. First, teach them about fear. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. It's there. First, about fear. Why fear? Because we're so busy trying to push all these thought impressions away. And if you're honest about it, what that is fear. We don't want to see them. It might say something about me. Because we haven't figured out yet that none of those memory traces have anything to do with me. I'm pure consciousness. I'm Atman. I'm Brahman. I'm Purusha. I don't care what word you use. That's who I am. I am the center of consciousness. I don't have a center of consciousness. I am a soul. I don't have a soul. I am purity itself. I am truth. I am light. I'm all that kind of stuff. But when we have all those other things, then we're shot through with fear. And what Swamiji says elsewhere that we ought to do with those fears is we have to look at each one of them. And it doesn't mean we go to the psychiatrist's couch. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with that if that's what we want to do. But we learn to let thoughts come so that we can practice the skill, the art of letting them go. Next, and they go, and next, and they go. And then when you've just let one go by and you realize it had a little twinge of fear with it, or anger, some negative emotion, you just let it go. You can let it keep going. But maybe some part of your memory remembers, hey, this thing is coming up regularly. It just seems like every time I sit down to do meditation, this thought's coming to mind. And I know how to let it go. I know how to push it away too. That doesn't work. But I'm learning how to let it go, and I say, oh, this is great, I'm learning how to let go. But yet this thing keeps coming. That thing with that person that from 15 years ago still keeps coming into your mind. And so what do? You say, come back here. Introspection. Number 7. You know how to do letting go. If you don't know how to do letting go, you can't do number 7, introspection. It just turns into worry and trying to psychoanalyze it, and maybe that'll help and maybe not, but it's not what's being talked about here. So now you can let you come back, and it loses part of its coloring just by being willing to see it. And then what happens is you end up so comfortable with this. You figure out for yourself that none of these thoughts, they're all memories. They're just memory traces. Doesn't matter if it's this life, past life, 1,000 lifetimes ago, who cares? But they're not me. And this is direct experience. You come to see it for yourself. You know with certainty that that thought is not me. It's just a memory of some event that happened back then. And it's a memory trace, and it's coming to life and coming into my movie that I'm making. I'm a little Hollywood, Bollywood movie producer in here, and I'm making movies. And that character just keeps showing up into play. But you figure it out for yourself. This is not me. How do you know it? Because you've been letting it come and letting it go and letting it come and letting it go. You're skilled now at letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. But you notice, gee, that keeps coming. Come back here. You sit there and you look at it. It loses some of its power and it goes. And you become skilled at that whole process. And then comes this number 8 witnessing, which is then the ability to allow the whole stream of thoughts of the unconscious mind to come and not engage you, not pull you off track. And this is where the real meditation comes. This is the doorway to samadhi. This is where the real practice of meditation comes. There's a comment that Swamiji makes in his writings on Mandukya Upanishad, which is sort of the pinnacle of this stuff, published in a book called Enlightenment Without God. In the commentary on, I think it's the 11th verse, there's only 12 verses in there. And he says there comes a point where this whole process will quicken. Quicken. It speeds up. This witnessing, that's number 8 here, it will come to a point where it speeds up. And the rate at which thoughts are coming and going is far beyond what we think we're capable of thinking. Just all of a sudden there it is, maybe for a second or 2 or 3 or longer. The whole process speeds up. This is what's being talked about in the witnessing thing, where he says something like, let's see what he says here, you become a witness to your whole life or some such thing like that.